A spreadsheet tells you what happened yesterday, but it can't predict what will happen tomorrow.
Hello and welcome. I am Ria and with me is Reed. On behalf of ECEL VIT Bhopal, we bring to you the Founder in Making show. The podcast is a space where ideas take shape, ambitions find direction, and future founders find their voice. The Founder in Making is all about capturing the raw and the early journeys of aspiring entrepreneurs. Before the pitch deck go viral and before the success stories make headlines. So, in today's episode, we are diving into a challenge that quietly drains businesses every day, making the right inventory decisions. Too much stock and the money sits idle in warehouses. Too little and shelves are empty. Customers are disappointed and opportunities are lost. It sounds simple, but in today's fast changing world, it's definitely not.
Why we are so excited to be joined by Kshitij Tripathi, the founder of Logiflow. Welcome, Kshitij. How are you doing today?
Please, hi Ria, and hello to all the viewers. My name is Shiv Tripathi, and I'm the founder of Logiflow. I'm currently a third-year student at VIT Bhopal pursuing AIML, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Pleasure is all ours. So, viewers, let me tell you, Kshitij started this company while studying at VIT Bhopal University, inspired by the idea that technology could make inventory smarter, faster, and more reliable. Logiflow helps businesses automatically decide what to stock, how much, and when, using intelligent data driven methods instead of guesswork or spreadsheets. Their system adapts to the change in demand, supply, and the unexpected, helping companies save money and keep customers happy.
Let's start our talk with Kshitij. So, how was Logiflow born, the challenges they faced as a student startup, and how they are using technology to rethink inventory planning for modern businesses?
A major global retailer loses 2 billion in just 2 years because their warehouses were either overflowing with stuff that no one wanted or empty of the one thing the customers actually needed. This isn't rare. It's the daily reality for thousands of businesses still stuck in the spreadsheet era, relying on human judgment and guesswork.
Traditional methods fail when the world changes suddenly, when demand spikes unexpectedly, or the suppliers become unreliable. The margin for error is simply too high in today's fast paced market.
Let's dive into the core issue. Why do you think the world is still so afraid of letting go of their spreadsheets?
It's a great question, by the way. See, the fundamental issue is that spreadsheets are static and reactive. A spreadsheet tells you what happened yesterday, but it can't predict what will happen tomorrow. When a product suddenly goes viral or a shipping route is blocked, a spreadsheet just sits there. Humans are great at strategy, but our brains aren't built to process billions of shifting data points simultaneously to calculate risk in real time.
That makes sense. It's really about scale and speed. Kshitij, the description of Logiflow mentions risk aware decisions under uncertainty. Can you break that down into simple terms?
Think of it like a shopkeeper during a festival. A basic shopkeeper orders stock once and hopes for the best. A smart shopkeeper will keep watch of the foot traffic and restock or slows down before any money is lost. Logiflow works similarly. We use machine learning to constantly analyze external factors, weather, social media trends, supplier performance data, to quantify potential disruptions. We don't just give you a number to order. We recommend the optimal quantity, the balance of risk, and having empty shelves against the risk of wasting money or excess stock.
Sounds incredibly powerful. So, what was that aha moment for you that made you realize that this was a problem that you needed to solve?
See, the aha moment which hit me back when in during my hometown, I saw two shopkeepers side by side. One was drowning in stock nobody wanted, and one was, he had the best item to sell, but he got stocked out soon. So in two cases, either one had rotting cash boxes, and one was like he had a customer's walk away with money in the hands.
So it's fantastic that you're bringing the level of innovation from a college project into our industry. For a small or a medium sized business owner listening right now, what is the first tangible benefit that would see after implementing Logiflow?
The first thing you get are visibility and peace of mind. Instead of businesses owner spending hours buried in cells and formulas, they get a clear dashboard that acts like a command center, highlighting exactly what needs attention by letting the system handle the heavy lifting of data. They can finally stop firefighting and start focusing on the growth.
Now, as we move on to the next segment, the next Q&A segment, we talk about the topic, uncertainty and the risk, and the Logiflow solution. So, Kshitij, how does Logiflow actually work? Catch these disruptions in the supply chain. Can you give us an example where it made a tough call work?
We use AI to spot anomalies. Think of it as a smoke detector for supply chains. If a major client cancels an order, Logiflow flags it instantly. This early warning allows the business to pivot their production and ordering immediately, rather than realizing that they have too much stock there and weeks too late.
That sounds great. So, how do you make Logiflow smart but not super complicated for businesses? Like, do they need to overhaul everything to fit it in? How does it work?
It's actually very simple. The Logiflow plugs into whatever system you already have. It's like an ERP or enterprise resource planning. You don't need to report your existing setup. You just have to sit on the top of the data and provide the brain power to analyze it in more intelligent way.
And what's one myth about managing stock that Logiflow is totally debunking?
One big myth is that more stock means more safety. In reality, excess stock is just frozen cash, and Logiflow proves that holding less but smarter inventory actually makes a business more resilient and improves cash flow.
Now, let's take a scenario. If a business gets hit by a sudden crisis or a supplier shuts down, how fast can Logiflow help them pivot?
We provide them real-time alerts, and if a supplier shuts down, Logiflow doesn't wait for a meeting. Within minutes, it alternates suppliers or adjusts plans. We typically help businesses reduce at their risk inventory by about 30%, which is a massive amount to unlock capital.
As far as the business thinking is concerned, do I really need this? What is that thing that Logiflow does that makes sense? Okay, I need this.
We would expect to help businesses reduce around 30% of their at-risk inventory, and that unlocks cash and significantly reduces operational stresses. When businesses see the impact, the value becomes clear, and that's why businesses say, "Yeah, I do really need this."
We move on to the next segment of our Q&A. So we'll be talking about technology, so how it is light and accessible. Before we go further, let's talk about the technology behind Logiflow. So, in a simple way, when uncertainty is such a big part of supply chains, how does Logiflow actually model that uncertainty and decide what actions to take over the time?
At the core, we use probabilistic Bayesian models instead of betting everything on a single prediction. Like saying we will sell exactly 100 units. The system thinks in terms of likelihoods. It's like a weather report. It's like instead of saying it will rain, it says there is an 80% chance of rain. So bring your umbrella. When we use reinforcement learning to help the system learn from its own past decisions to get better over time.
So that actually makes sense. Instead of betting everything on one prediction, you are designing decisions that can handle uncertainty as it follows.
Great now. So, let's take a break from the Q&A session and let's move on to the fun segment of our podcast. So, we have a game for you. The game is called Absurd Startup Showdown. So I am going to throw two totally ridiculous startup ideas at you, and you have to pick which one you would try to actually make work. So you can't say both or none as an answer. And you get 20 seconds to explain your choice. So now let's see if your inner founder survives these ideas. Great. So we shall begin. For the first round, I have two startups for you. Firstly, there is an app that tells you which hostel corner has the fastest Wi-Fi right now. And the second is a platform where students can rent other students' notes for a day.
Option A. I will go with option A.
Specific reason behind that?
So I think that when you come to college, the main thing which you should be having basic is facilities like water, Wi-Fi, electricity, and all. See, notes could be made by you, and if not, you have resources like YouTube and FreeCodeCamp and other resources available online. But to achieve that, to get that, you need to have a proper Wi-Fi and proper network And that's why I think that if someone can get to a better Wi-Fi, and that's the best thing which you can have. So at that moment, I will see option A.
Sounds pretty reasonable. Secondly, we have one startup for you where an AI writes your excuses for bunking classes or skipping assignments. And secondly, we have an app that rates how sleepy your classmates look during lectures.
See, both of them looks absurd for me, but option A would be more meaningful. But option would be more meaningful in the current time.
Made the same choice. Then we have a social networking platform where every post must be a startup pitch. Like even your memes will count as a startup pitch. And secondly, we have an app that predicts which classmates will ghost group projects.
It is more important that you try to find you learn something anywhere you see, everywhere you see. Everything should be a learning for you, and instead of knowing which one who will ghost your group project or who will not who will not support you in a group, it's better that you get a social media app. You, even if you doom scroll, you still get to learn about how people think, what they have the idea or something. So option A would be a better choice.
This is actually a great idea. Then moving on to round 4, we have a startup that tells you which mess or canteen line is the shortest right now, or an AI app that notifies you exactly when your friends are bored so you can text them.
Again, option A, waste of time. So I would say that I would need someone who can tell me if that line is actually short. I can go and you can talk to people eating food also, like we do in mess. So that is the option A.
Your preference is option A for mostly all of the questions. Then we have a platform where students vote on who has the messiest hostel room, and an app that automatically joins you to Zoom lectures and mutes you until the professor notices.
Go with option B, because keeping the online lectures in mind, many people just join for free attendance. So come in before the professor sees you and get the attendance you need, because who likes to say join online lectures, and it's kind of boring. So I go for option B.
And lastly, we have a service that lets you rent out your old textbooks or reference books to juniors, or an app that tells you which canteen snack is the freshest or most available.
Difficult choice, because none of them is currently in our campus, nor people ask for books, or nor we have vending machines. So still I would go for option B.
Kshitiz, we really appreciate that. You were a very enthusiastic player. So now let's get back to the Q&A session.
Okay, so after a wonderful game, let's get back to the Q&A segment where we'll be talking about advice for businesses and future of inventory. So, Kshitij, what is the biggest issue which businesses face today when managing inventory?
This issue, I think, is that most businesses still treat inventory decisions as a fixed planning exercise. They rely heavily on historical averages and static rules, assuming demand and supply will behave predictably. Manual tools work when things are stable, but they don't scale with complexity. As you add more products and variables, manual updates become too slow. By the time you update your spreadsheet, the world has already moved on.
Why do you think manual tools like spreadsheets struggle in these situations?
Spreadsheets work well with systems as simple as table, but when they don't scale with complexity, as the number of products, suppliers, and variables increases, manual updates become slow and error prone. More importantly, spreadsheets cannot continuously adjust decisions when the new data arrives. By the time changes are made, situations have already evolved. This delay is a major reason businesses experience stockouts or excess inventory.
Okay, so continuing with my last question, how do you see inventory and supply chains evolving in the coming years?
Change will become more adaptive and intelligence driven instead of reacting to disruptions. After they happen, systems will anticipate potential issues and adjust decisions in advance. Planning cycles will shorten, and inventory policies will change dynamically based on real time data. This shift will make supply chain more resilient and far less dependent on manual intervention.
So, how do you think businesses should practically improve their inventory decision making?
Focus on building systems that update the decision continuously rather than periodically. This means using data to reassess demand, supply reliability, and risk on an ongoing basis. Businesses need to move beyond single point forecasts and start considering multi scenarios while making decisions. The goal is not perfect accuracy, but making choices that remain effective even when conditions go unexpectedly.
As we know, the role of AI has been increasing in the coming years, and nowadays it's very common. So, what role will AI play in future, and how will they change the role of humans in supply
Uh,
chain management?
See, AI will move beyond forecasting to achieve decision making. It will evaluate different options, how much to order, when to order, from which supplier, while accounting for uncertainty and risk. Humans will focus more on strategic decision setting objectives and handling exception. Systems will manage routine operational decisions at scale. This collaboration allows businesses to grow without increasing their complexity or decision fatigue.
Okay, so now we move on to the next segment of our Q&A, which will tell us about the Logiflow solution, like how it works in the real world and how it has an impact on all of us. So let's imagine I'm a business owner. My inventory works like this. I look at the last month's sales, make a rough idea, and cross my fingers and hope nothing weird happens. So, which of course never works. Kshitij, let us know how Logiflow does things differently and step by step as well.
The biggest difference is that with Logiflow doesn't start with a fixed plan. Instead of saying here's how much you should order this month and logging that decision in, our system continuously looks at demand signals, supply reliability, and risk. It takes incoming data, evaluates different possibilities, outcome, and then recommends actions that remain safe even if things don't go exactly as expected. Rather than planning once and hoping nothing changes, Logiflow keeps updating decisions as reality changes. So step by step, you just have to don't need to cross your fingers and hope that everything goes fine. You just need to get your data done, input it, you get your decision, and if you follow the decision, you're at uncertainty, the risk of stock out or overstock or loss decreases marginally over time, and this gives you a boost and a better scale and profit.
Future. It says here are multiple futures, some good, some scary, and here's how to survive all of them. You know, that already sounds smarter than most humans under pressure. What do you think, Shatish?
Most systems try to predict the future and optimize for that. We assume that future will be wrong. So Logiflow evaluates multiple scenarios like demand being higher than expected, or suppliers being delayed, or cash being tighter, and then choose decision that balances cost, service, level, and risk. The idea is not perfection, but resilience.
Sounds great. You know, as much as we know how much resilience and perseverance plays a role in our lives. So now, let's talk impact. So can you share a real example where Logiflow helped a company avoid a painful inventory mistake? Maybe overstocking, stock outs, or reacting fast to a sudden disruption. What role did Logiflow play there?
One example I think that stands out is a business that was frequently overstocking slow moving items while running out of parcels. Their planning looked fine on paper, system couldn't react fast enough. After implementing Logiflow's decision mechanism, the system started adjusting order quantities dynamically. They reduced excess inventory while moving product availability, and the big change that was the team stopped firefighting every week, and that's where I think it actually helped them overstocking stock wasn't acting fast to the sudden change and disruption.
Here's another practical question. A supplier suddenly delays shipments or demand spikes overnight. So traditionally, business takes days, sometimes weeks to respond. How fast will Logiflow help them pivot?
See, that's where our continuous decision making really helps. When a disruption happens, Logiflow doesn't wait for the next planning cycle. The system immediately reassesses the situation, updates the risk estimates, and suggests alternative actions such as switching suppliers or adjusting safety stock or delaying non-critical replenishments. This happens in near time, allowing businesses to respond within hours instead of days.
Businesses think that, we've survived so long without smart systems. Like, do we really need this? So, what's that one moment where they go, okay, yeah, we need Logiflow? What do you think?
If you frequently asked questions, I would say usually it is when businesses realize that problems aren't coming from bad forecasts but from rigid decisions. They see that even small changes in demand or supply are creating large financial consequences. When they understand that Logiflow doesn't provide perfect predictions but instead helps them make safer decisions under uncertainty, and that's where it clicks.
So after a lot of questions, a big Q&A round, we'll move on to the second game. So now, Kshitij, we'll play an interesting interactive game where you'll have to guess the founders of various startups, and you'll be getting 5 hints with options to request the hints, or you can expend your guessing chances. So if you need the second hint, then we'll show it to you. Else you can guess it on the first hint as well. So now we'll begin with the game. So your first hint goes, that person wears glasses. Do you want us to go to the next hint or you will try guessing?
This person wear glasses. Many people wear glasses.
Okay, so we'll go on to the
Okay,
next hint.
okay.
So he's a strong supporter of Make in India.
Uh,
Do you want to guess or go to the next hint?
is it okay? So you want me to name the company or the founder?
The founder, not the company.
Okay, founder. Next hint,
Okay,
please.
so we'll go on to the
Um,
next hint. His brand connects with the music, fitness,
uh,
and
I,
lifestyle.
I think I got it. I got
Okay,
it. I think Aman Gupta.
so your answer is correct. Aman Gupta is the founder.
Thanks.
Okay, so there's a twist
Yeah.
in this. There's one question for the viewers as well. I'll be dropping hints. The first one to comment the answer in the chat box will be the winner. We'll be announcing his name or her name in the next coming Founder in Making show, next episode. So let's see the first hint. Okay, so the co-founder of Freecharge. The second hint will be dropping. He has built one of the most trusted fintech unicorn. So we'll not be answering the Kshitij, you don't have to answer the question. The viewers will be the one who will be answering in the chat box, and we'll be announcing the name in the next episode.
Now that we've seen how Logiflow works and the real world impact that it creates, let's take a step back. What does all this mean for the future of inventory and supply chains?
The inventory management will shift from reactive planning to proactive decision making. Businesses that rely on static tools will continue to struggle, while those that adopt adaptive, risk-aware strategies and systems will be the better prepared for the change. Early, respond quickly, and make decisions.
For businesses today, the lesson is clear. Uncertainty isn't going away. Tools like Logiflow aren't optional, they are the survival tools.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Kshitij, before we close, would you like to share a final message with our viewers?
So, see, uncertainty isn't going away. Businesses that rely on static tools will keep struggling, while those who adopt adaptive, risk-aware systems will survive and grow. Logiflow isn't about predicting the future. It's about staying safe no matter what the future looks like.
Thank you so much, Kshitij, for joining us today and for sharing such valuable insights into the future of inventory management. Your vision, clarity, and the practical approach truly highlight what it means to be a founder in the making. We really appreciate you for taking the time to share your inspiring ideas with the users, with the audience. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much.
the listeners for being a part of today's conversation. Until next time, stay curious, stay adaptive, and always remember smart inventory is the backbone of a smart business. So, if you're interested in learning more about Logiflow or getting in touch with the team, you'll find all the details in the description box below. Just keep an eye for the next episode to come, as we'll be announcing the name of the winners of Guess the Founder game. ECEL will continue bringing you more episodes of Founder in the Making, where we feature ideas, journeys, and stories of innovators in the making. So, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Thank you for joining.